Hello class 8. Today we are going to do another topic from United Nations and another very important organ, that is International Court of Justice. So before we start with this ICJ, I hope you know that judiciary plays a very important role because there are so many people and there are bound to be differences and there are bound to be conflicts. So to resolve that, courts are there in our country. You can take an example of district court, high court, and your Supreme Court. They are there to deliver justice. If you have any problem, you can go there and resolve your issue without fighting or harming anyone. Similarly, International Court of Justice was also created to resolve issue between the countries, because internally they are dealing with their issues if they have any problem. But what if two countries are having problems? So where they are supposed to go to resolve their issue? So International Court of Justice is there. I hope you have remembered the Jadhav case last year, who is in Pakistan prison, and there was a hearing in ICJ at the International Court of Justice. So this is one of the example. Now let me show you a video to clarify the topic.
The International Court of Justice was established in 1945 by a UN Charter, and it began work in 1946 as the successor to the Permanent Court of International Justice. The Statute of the International Court of Justice, similar to that of its predecessor, is the main constitutional document constituting and regulating the court. The court engages in a wide range of judicial activity. Chapter 14 of the UN Charter authorizes the UN Security Council to enforce court rulings. However, such enforcement is subject to the veto power of the 5 permanent members of the Council.
United Nations, initially when it was started, it had only 50 countries. Now it has 193 countries. Now, according to UN Charter, whichever country becomes member of the United Nations also becomes member of the International Court of Justice. That means it comes within the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice. So at the moment there are 193 countries, which includes both India and Pakistan.
The ICJ is composed of 15 judges who are elected to 9-year terms by the United Nations General Assembly and the UN Security Council. This is from a list of people nominated by the national groups in the Permanent Court of Arbitration. The election process for the judges is set out in Articles 4 to 19 of the ICJ statute. Elections are staggered, with 5 judges elected every 3 years to ensure continuity within the court. Should a judge die in office, the practice has generally been to elect a judge in a special election to complete the term. No 2 judges may be nationals of the same country. According to Article 9, the membership of the court is supposed to represent the main forms of civilization and of the principal legal systems of the world. Essentially, that has meant common law, civil law, and socialist law. The judges in the ICJ are chosen to represent all geographic regions of the world. This is not based on a formal rule, it's just an informal understanding between the nations. There are 5 seats for Western countries, 3 for African states, 2 for Eastern European states, 3 for Asian states, and 2 for Latin American and Caribbean states. For most of ICJ's history, France, Russia, China, the UK, and the US have always had a judge serving, thereby occupying 3 of the Western seats, 1 of the Asian seats, and 1 of the Eastern European seats, with only a few exceptions.
Now this ICJ, I'll call it ICJ, has 15 judges, and at the moment there are all 15 judges are there, and Justice Bhandari from India sits on the bench. There is also one temporary ad hoc judge from Pakistan who is also sitting there. And there are 13 other from America, from Russia, from different countries, Brazil, some African countries are also represented.
Of these exceptions is one when China did not have a judge from 1967 to 1985 and British Judge Sir Christopher Greenwood being withdrawn as a candidate for election for a second 9-year term on the bench in 2017, leaving no judges from the United Kingdom on the court. Indian Judge Dalveer Bhandari instead took this seat. Article 6 of the statute provides that all judges should be elected regardless of their nationality. They should be of high moral character, either qualified for the highest judicial office in their home state or known as lawyers with sufficient competence in international law. Judicial independence is dealt with specifically in Articles 16 to 18. Judges of the ICJ are not able to hold any other post or act as counsel. A judge can be dismissed only by a unanimous vote of the other members of the court. Judges at the ICJ may deliver joint judgments or give their own separate opinions. Decisions and advisory opinions are by majority, and in the event of an equal division, the President's vote becomes decisive. Judges may also deliver separate dissenting opinions. Article 31 sets out a procedure whereby ad hoc judges sit on contentious cases before the court. The system allows any party to a contentious case to select one additional person to sit as a judge on that case only. It is thus possible that as many as 17 judges may sit on one case. The provision for ad hoc judges has been made to encourage states to submit cases. If a state knows that it will have a judicial officer who can participate in deliberation and offer other judges local knowledge and an understanding of the state's perspective, it may be more willing to submit to the jurisdiction of the court. Although this system does not sit well with the judicial nature of the body, it is usually of little practical consequence. Ad hoc judges usually vote in favor of the state that appointed them and thus cancel each other out. With inputs from Pranjal Mishra, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.